So if you have a startup grant, you don't have to do this yet. So, but know that it's near future if you want to continue pursuing this to the full monitoring program, which right, that's the goal. So, a quality assurance project plan is a document that I like to think of it as a guidebook for your future replacement, but also, I mean, a guidebook until you internalize all this stuff. It's a guidebook for you too, uh, that explains why you're monitoring, where you're monitoring, how you monitor, how you handle your gear. There's quality assurance checks that you will do on your data that helps your decision making, how you share your data, how you upload your data. So it's like essentially it's your plan for the whole program just in written form so that you have this reference so that year to year to year you're doing things the same way. That's especially important when you're collecting environmental data. And that the person who follows after you does things the same way because I can tell you after doing this for 20 years, uh, no no group has the same person who leads it, even after 10 years. Like even if there's with the organization, they get promoted and they don't do the program anymore, right? So there's always someone new coming in to lead it, and so you need this written record. All right. So there's a very specific guidance document available on our website, and about also on our website, about 30 groups have already written these and are available for you to check out. So there's a wide range of tools to help you write your own. For 2026, so this year and beyond, there is a new and improved set of QAPP guidance on the website, or at least it will be like in a week because I'm still writing it. But it will be done very soon.
I still need to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it up as a draft so people can immediately start using it. But no, little things in it will be expanded and changed within 6 months. But yeah, it will be there for you. And the goal of this guidance document is to make writing your QAP as easy as possible. It will have full sections that you just copy and paste. All right, but some stuff you need to develop for yourself. Some of this material you've already developed because it was in your MyCore proposal. Like, why do we want to monitor this area? All of you have already written that. It might be old at this point, depending on your group, but it's all written material that's already out there that you can mine. But the technical aspects of the QAP are pre-written for you, so you can just use. And actually, I want you to just use what's in the guidance so that we're all doing the technical aspects the same way. Um, this QAP is required for full MyCore membership, sharing your data in the Michigan Data Exchange. It's due prior to your first sampling event. So probably your first sampling event will be in late September or early October if you're brand new, and so just get it to me sometime in September. It must be reviewed and reapproved by me. We want it. We want you to have eyes on it every 2 years. 2 years to be like in best standing with the network. So if you want to get a maintenance grant, which is the grant that comes after your implementation grant, you need to those QAPs have to be re-reviewed every 2 years. Now, after 5 years, if you don't update your QAP, we don't no longer allow you to enter data into the MyCore Data Exchange, and then you're no longer considered part of the MyCore network. And this very much plays into staff turnover. Like, staff will turn over rapidly, and we want to make sure that any new staff that come in have seen this QAP, have gone through it, knows what's expected of them. Otherwise, more and more and more, we see procedures start doing their own thing. Once groups kind of lose touch with the central organization, me and Tamara, They just start doing their own thing, and then we can't really put that data online because we don't know how it was collected. All right. Um, there is, so talking more about this new version of the QAPP rules, it puts an emphasis on all of our organization treating our data in very similar ways. Up till now, there's been kind of very little guidance on what to do with your data. We're already all following the same collection procedures. So treating our data the same way is kind of the next step to build legitimacy with volunteer collected data. 20 years ago, a lot of scientists didn't like using volunteer collected data. They thought it was inaccurate, or there was a trust issue there. And MyCore has built this reputation as volunteer data that is very good. And just we're building this next step. If we all treat our data the same way, it will build extra confidence. When the biologists look at our data and it looks right, it gives them the confidence to trust it. Okay. A part of that is that we are going to share macroinvertebrate metrics. We're grading our macroinvertebrates the same way. So you guys, if you've seen our data sheets before, you've seen this thing, the water quality rating, the WQR. That's what this thermometer over here is. So it's essentially, the WQR is a weighted average where each taxa group has its own tolerance. And then it's a weighted average based on this tolerance. And it ends up being a score between 0 and 10, where if you're closer to 0, that's excellent water quality in terms of the tolerances of your insects. And if you're closer to 10, very poor. An example would be stoneflies, rate a 0. So if your sample is 100% stoneflies, you would get a 0. Excellent water. If your sample is 100% mosquitoes and leeches, you would be closer to a 10. Most of us are going to fall somewhere between a 3 and a 7, probably, is a realistic number to have for Michigan streams.
Are we going to talk about the specific stonefly?
No.
Okay.
That's a if you guys do that, that's a side thing. Okay. It's not really part of the MyCore program.
I have just an odd question. Have you noticed more of a lack of diversity when you have like stands of Phragmites or extensive purple loosestrife or anything like that? Because anyone kind of cross-reference the invasive populations versus the actual.
I don't have much knowledge of that. Yeah, I don't.
It'd be kind of cool.
We haven't talked about the habitat analysis yet, but that's something that we will do a habitat analysis, and it's something that you could look at simultaneously. But I don't have any distinct knowledge of it myself. The other thing that we're all calculating is the number of groups that we're finding. Essentially the number of lines that you're filling out on the data sheet, right? This is a new thing that we're doing. The number of groups that have particular tolerances, in this case, 3 or less. That's mayflies and anything that is less pollution tolerant than a mayfly, like mayflies up through hellgrammites and stoneflies. We count all of those too. So we essentially have plus abundance. If you do your data at the order level, you'll come up with abundance, you'll come up with WQR, you'll come up with a total diversity number, you'll come up with a sensitive diversity number for every single one of your samples. All right, those are kind of like your results. And those are the results that you can track over time to see if they change. Now, if you identify at the family level, you do the same thing, except the data aren't really comparable at all, even though their metrics are called the same, because order level is just entirely different in terms of scale. You're never going to find more than 1 mayfly type if you do the order level, but you may find 5 mayflies if you do the family level, right? So treat those entirely different. The family level metrics also uses this EPT number, which is mayflies, stoneflies, caddisflies, Ephemeroctoptera, Trichoptera, which is a very standard metric that biologists like to use. Those those three groups are typically some of the most pollution intolerant. So the more of those you find, the better. So Family Metrics uses all of these as their results. And that will be, for all of us are using the same metrics, we're able to then compare our results a little bit more, and we're collecting our data in the same way. We're able to kind of compare and contrast our statewide results a little bit better.